There is a single thought, a quiet truth, that has built empires, moved mountains, and opened the floodgates of prosperity for those who dared to understand it. It is not complicated. In fact, it is so simple that most overlook it entirely. But like all great truths, it is hidden in plain sight, tucked into ancient scriptures, echoed in the words of philosophers, and whispered by the most successful people in every age. The thought is this: you become what you think about. It is the golden thread woven through every story of abundance. And yet, how many pause to grasp its meaning? How many truly understand the magnitude of that law? Most people spend their lives reacting to the world, unaware that the world is responding to them. But once you understand that your mind is not just a receiver, but a transmitter, everything changes. The moment you choose a thought deliberately and hold it long enough to let it take root, you have already altered the course of your life. We are conditioned to believe that prosperity begins with circumstances, luck, inheritance, or timing. But that is not how the universe works. Prosperity begins not in the bank, but in the mind. Think wealth, and wealth comes. Think poverty, and poverty follows. This is not philosophy, this is law. And just as surely as gravity pulls objects toward the earth, this law pulls experiences toward thought. If you're still listening, I want to ask you to do something very simple, something that helps share this message with others who might need it. If this idea stirs something in you, if it awakens a sense of quiet truth you've always known, then like and subscribe to this channel. Not because I asked, but because someone else may need to hear this tomorrow. Each time you share a message of clarity, you multiply its reach. And together we help others think clearly, live boldly, and prosper silently. You see, success isn't some magical windfall. It's not handed out to the lucky. It is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That is to say, when a man or woman chooses a definite goal and then thinks about that goal daily, cheerfully, deliberately, and without fear, that person is already successful. The problem is that most never choose. They conform. They react. They drift like ships without rudders. But the man who decides to live abundantly, to think abundantly, and to act in harmony with those thoughts, he has planted the seed, and the harvest must come. Your mind does not care what you plant, success or failure, wealth or lack, peace or anxiety. It will return to you whatever you sow. The land does not argue with the farmer, and neither does your subconscious argue with your dominant thought. This is why it is essential to guard the doors of the mind as carefully as one guards a treasury. Now imagine for a moment that the universe were a mirror. It reflects not your wishes but your beliefs, not your desires but your expectations. Think small, and the reflection is small. Think boldly, and the reflection expands. This is why the thought, "I am one with wealth and wisdom," is not just a phrase. It is a command to the mind, a signal to the world. Wealth is not reserved for the few. It is available to the disciplined, to the aware, and to those who understand that prosperity is not something we chase, but something we attract by becoming its match. This may sound strange to the average man, but the average man has never dared to think originally. He thinks as others think. He feels as others feel. He does what others do. And in return he receives what the 95% receive: mediocrity, struggle, and quiet desperation. Now, if this message has reached you at the right moment in your life, then you already know that something within you is stirring. Not a fantasy, not a passing emotion, but a recognition that you were meant for more, not because someone else told you, but because your own inner voice refuses to settle. And that is the beginning of all transformation. The journey does not start with steps. It begins with thought. One single, powerful, uninterrupted thought. I want you to write it down. Say it aloud. Let it echo through your mind until it becomes your foundation. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Write it in the comments. Speak it into your mornings. Let it burn through the fog of worry and light the path ahead. What will happen when you do? Something remarkable. The world around you will begin to shift. You will notice opportunities where before there were none. You will find clarity where confusion once ruled. People will treat you differently, respond to you differently. Not because they've changed, but because you have. Your vibration has risen. Your posture, your voice, your gaze, all carry the signature of a mind that knows where it's going. That is the power of a single dominant thought. Like a magnet, it pulls people, circumstances, and outcomes toward it, with quiet inevitability. There is no need to force, to chase, or to plead. The thought does the work. And it must do the work, because the law does not fail. Just as the farmer who plants corn will not harvest nightshade, so too will the one who plants wealth not reap poverty. The only question is, will you plant intentionally, or will you let others plant for you? Will you guard your mind with vigilance, or leave the gate open to fear, noise, and opinion? Each morning the choice is yours. Each evening the results are yours. This is the truth of life, simple, silent, and unstoppable. You may ignore it, but you cannot escape it. Because like the law of gravity, it operates regardless of belief. So I say to you now, start today. Choose one thought. Hold it, nurture it, speak it. Return to it again and again until it becomes who you are. Let it drive your actions, color your conversations, shape your habits. Soon you'll find that life is no longer a puzzle, but a mirror. The outer world begins to reflect the inner world, and what was once difficult becomes easy. What was once far away becomes near. This is not magic. It is not trickery. It is alignment. It is principle. And it is available to every person who dares to think deliberately. Don't let today slip away into noise. Don't let this message fade into the background of your busy mind. Pause, reflect, and if you have heard something true in this voice and this message, then act on it. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Share it with someone who needs to remember that prosperity begins within. This is only the beginning. In the next part, we will explore how your dominant thought not only shapes your present, but quietly scripts your future. You are never a victim of circumstance. You are always the author of your direction. Now write it, say it, anchor it. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Let that be the first declaration on your path to mastery. The mind, once directed, becomes the most powerful tool in existence. It has no limits, only direction. And that direction, whether chosen consciously or left to drift unconsciously, determines everything we experience. If a person thinks thoughts of limitation, of doubt, of fear, then the world must comply and reflect those beliefs back, not because the world is cruel, but because it is obedient. The universe is not emotional, it is responsive. It gives you not what you want, but what you are. And what you are is nothing more than the accumulation of your most dominant thoughts, accepted repeatedly without question. Most people live by reaction, by default. They do not choose their thoughts, they inherit them. From parents, from peers, from the culture around them. But understand this, the moment you begin to choose your own thought, you reclaim your life from the hands of circumstance. Consider this. A man wakes up in the morning and thinks the same thoughts he thought yesterday. He brushes his teeth in the same bathroom, eats the same breakfast, listens to the same voices on the same news channels. His routine is not just physical, it is mental. And because he never chooses a new thought, he repeats the same emotional patterns. He speaks the same complaints, reacts to the same triggers, and walks the same invisible path. Then he wonders why nothing changes. But how could it? He is not living, he is recycling. What he doesn't realize is that the world is not static. It's simply following his instruction. The moment he changes that internal instruction, his thinking, he changes the path. Now here's where the magic begins. When you introduce a new thought into your life, especially one that contradicts your old limitations, it feels uncomfortable at first. The mind resists. The body resists. You may feel foolish repeating, I am one with wealth and wisdom. You may think, who am I to say this? I don't see wealth. I don't feel wise. But that is precisely the test. Every transformation begins with a contradiction between what is and what must become. The old mind will fight to keep the status quo. But the new mind, the one you are building, must persist until the old voice fades. Every great man or woman has passed through this fire. They learn to ignore the echo of doubt and speak the new vision into existence anyway. In these first few days of holding a new dominant thought, you must become a guardian of your attention, because everything around you will tempt you to return to the old patterns. You'll hear complaints, you'll hear fear, you'll see others worrying, others chasing, others doubting. And the world will say, see, that's reality. But remember, that's their reality, not yours. Your reality is being built now, silently, in the workshop of the mind. And every moment you spend thinking your new thought, every moment you return to it with calm certainty, you are laying the foundation for a life most only dream about. Not someday, not maybe, but inevitably. One of the greatest truths I ever discovered is this. Clarity of thought creates speed of result. The clearer your dominant thought, the faster it becomes real. Why? Because clarity eliminates contradiction. Most people send mixed signals to life. They say they want abundance, but they think scarcity. They speak hope, but they think fear. And so the universe, receiving confused direction, reflects back a confused life. But when a man or woman decides absolutely and without wavering that they are prosperous, they are guided, and they are on purpose, then the wheels begin to turn. People are drawn in, situations arrange themselves, and what once felt distant begins to take form. So I ask you now, what is your dominant thought? Can you state it clearly? Can you repeat it daily without flinching? Is it powerful enough to replace every excuse, every fear, every inherited belief that no longer serves you? If not, craft one. Carve it from truth. Let it be so clear and so resonant that it silences all inner noise. A thought like, wealth flows to me because I have become a magnet for value. Or I do not chase success, I attract it by who I am becoming. These are not just affirmations. These are blueprints. Speak them not as hope, but as commands. Think them not as wishes, but as law. Now here's a curious thing. Once you begin thinking clearly, others will notice. But not always in the way you expect. Some will be drawn to you, mysteriously, magnetically. Others may question you, challenge you, even resist you. Why? Because when you begin living by a higher thought, you reflect something back to others that they may not yet be ready to face. Your clarity makes their confusion uncomfortable. Your peace makes their worry feel unnecessary. And instead of changing, many people would rather mock or doubt. That is not your concern. You are not here to convince others. You are here to lead yourself, and in doing so you will lead others without trying. When you hear the whisper of the old thought, when you hear, "But what if it doesn't work?" smile, because that voice is the sound of the old life fading. It is the echo of yesterday, and it cannot survive in the presence of a mind that has chosen its direction. Do not fight it. Do not fear it. Just replace it, thought by thought, moment by moment, until the new thought is no longer a visitor but a resident, until it speaks through you automatically, like breath. That is when you know you have become the thought and the thought has become you. And here's something few people realize. Once your dominant thought becomes habitual, it no longer takes effort. You no longer have to remind yourself. You no longer need discipline to return to it. It becomes as natural as blinking, as involuntary as the beating of your heart. And at that point, the real magic begins. Not because you are trying to create results, but because you are aligned with them. You begin to act in harmony with the thought. You walk into rooms differently. You speak with calm authority. You move through the day with a kind of invisible certainty. And people respond not to your effort, but to your vibration. So as we close this part, I want you to take one small action. In the comments below, write your new dominant thought. Declare it. Anchor it. Let others see it. Let the act of writing it become your first step toward becoming it. And if you haven't yet, share this message with someone who needs clarity. Someone ready to reclaim their mind and reshape their life. The journey has begun. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into the hidden architecture of habits and how your daily rituals either feed the vision or drain it. The path to prosperity is not paved with sudden luck or overnight breakthroughs. It is paved with small, deliberate habits repeated daily until they become a part of your nature. The man who becomes wealthy is not simply working hard. Millions work hard and never rise. What separates him is that his daily rituals serve his dominant thought. His habits align with his vision. And because of that, his thoughts, his actions, and his results form a single stream of progress. Now here's what many fail to grasp. Your habits are not just physical behaviors. They are repetitions of thought. Every day you repeat the same internal dialogue. You reinforce the same outer experience. That's why changing your life must begin with changing what you rehearse mentally. It is not enough to want more. You must become someone who expects more, thinks more, and does more, quietly, consistently, and without drama. Most people don't fail because they lack time. They fail because they misuse time. They let the hours drift by unconsciously, checking phones, entertaining worry, getting distracted by voices that hold no real weight. Meanwhile, the very few, organize their hours around their intention. They start the day with clarity. They remind themselves of their purpose. They review their goals, however small. They read things that nourish the mind. They avoid conversations that erode vision. They go to bed with the same intention they woke up with. These people do not appear different at first glance, but inside they are tuned to a different frequency, and that frequency over weeks, months, and years makes them magnetic to prosperity. You might wonder, is it really that simple? The answer is yes, but simple does not mean easy. It is simple to think positively. It is simple to repeat your dominant thought. It is simple to avoid negativity. But doing it every day when no one is watching is what separates those who speak change from those who live it. The man who rewires his habits in alignment with wealth does not need to prove anything. His life becomes the proof. He does not argue. He does not chase. He simply builds silently while others sleep. And while they wonder how he rose so quickly, he smiles because he knows it was never sudden. It was earned in the invisible hours. Every morning is a new vote for who you are becoming. When you wake, you are presented with two paths: the path of unconscious reaction or the path of deliberate creation. One leads to repetition. The other leads to expansion. One is easy in the short term but costly in the long term. The other may demand effort today, but it will repay you in ways that last a lifetime. If you begin your day scrolling, worrying, or rushing, you've already lost the first battle. But if you begin with stillness, with a clear thought, with intention, if you write your dominant belief on a card, say it aloud, and let it settle in your chest, you've already won. That's how you change a day. That's how you change a life. Now let's talk about discipline. Not the kind that feels like punishment, but the kind that feels like dignity. Real discipline is the ability to stay loyal to a vision long after the emotion of wanting it has faded. It's brushing your thoughts into order, just as you brush your hair. It's making your internal environment clean, sharp, and ready to receive. When you are disciplined with your focus, everything else begins to shift. You stop getting entangled in petty conversations. You stop overthinking failures. You stop wasting emotional energy on things outside your control. And you redirect that energy toward building something that lasts. That's not repression. That's refinement. And it is the price of greatness. Let's make this practical. If you were to track just 3 habits every day, your morning focus, your dominant thought, and your evening reflection, you would transform faster than you can imagine. Each morning, begin with clarity. Before you touch your phone, ask, what is the one thought I choose to live today? Say it, feel it, let it lead. Then throughout the day, return to it. When the mind wanders, bring it back. When doubts arise, interrupt them, replace them. Speak the truth out loud. Then, in the evening, reflect. Did I live my thought today? Did I build or did I drift? This is not judgment. This is feedback. The builder needs feedback, not blame. You are designing a new life, and every night is your blueprint review. A man who understands this becomes untouchable. Not arrogant, not detached, but grounded. He knows where he's going. He's already seen it in his mind. And because of that, he doesn't flinch when things go wrong. He doesn't complain when things take time. He doesn't panic when others panic. His thoughts are fixed, his habits are aligned, and his destiny is unfolding. That is what you must become. Not just a thinker of big thoughts, but a builder of small disciplines that support those thoughts. You must become the person whose very schedule is a vote for the life he wants. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to attract everything they need at the right time, this is why. Their habits are in harmony with their belief. Their days are designed for alignment. And because of that, they are open. They are not fighting the current. They are moving with it. That is why prosperity comes to them, not because they are lucky, but because they are ready. Life rewards readiness. It rewards order. It rewards the man who wakes up knowing exactly who he is and where he is going. So here's your next action. Design your morning. Don't leave it to chance. Don't let the world hijack your attention before you've claimed it for yourself. Decide now, what thought will you begin with tomorrow? Write it, say it, plan it, let it be the first seed you plant, and then water it with every action. And at the end of your day, return to it. Reflect, refocus, refine. This habit alone, done with quiet consistency, will unlock a life most never touch. And once again, write your affirmation in the comments, declare it, let others feel your clarity. Let it inspire them to shape their mornings with intention. Then share this message with someone who needs structure, who needs a way out of chaos and back into control. In the next part, we'll dive into how your beliefs about service and value determine your income. Why money is never a reward for effort alone, but for alignment with this invisible law of exchange. Money does not respond to effort. It responds to value. And value is not measured by how hard you work, but by how effectively you serve. This is a truth many people never understand. They believe that struggle should produce reward, that long hours alone should guarantee prosperity. But that is not how the law works. The universe does not compensate effort, it compensates impact. And impact is the result of thinking clearly, acting deliberately, and serving others with intention and excellence. If you want more money, do not ask, "How can I work harder?" Ask, "How can I increase my value? How can I serve more, better, or more meaningfully?" Because the moment your service rises, your rewards must rise in direct proportion. Every business, every career, every transaction operates under this same principle. The baker does not get paid because he wakes up early. He gets paid because his bread nourishes others. The teacher does not receive her salary because she shows up to class, but because she transforms students. The artist is not compensated for the brushstrokes, but for what the painting awakens in the viewer. It is the effect, not the effort, that determines the reward. This means that the person who earns the most is not necessarily the one who works the most, but the one who aligns his work with the deepest needs and desires of others. And that is good news because it means you can earn more, not by burning out, but by thinking better. Let me share with you a phrase that has guided many great men and women. I earn in proportion to the value I create and the lives I uplift. Say it aloud. Let it settle into your mind. Because once you accept this, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop waiting for miracles. You begin to take responsibility for your output, for your energy, for the way your presence improves the life of another. Whether you are selling a product, sharing an idea, leading a team, or raising a family, this law does not change. What you give is what you receive, and what you withhold is what the world withholds from you. Now let us go deeper. Service is not just what you do, it is who you become. The most prosperous individuals in history were obsessed with solving problems. They looked at the world and asked, where is the pain? Where is the need? And how can I become the answer? That is why they rose. Not because they wished for riches, but because they aligned themselves with purpose. When you make yourself useful to others, the world cannot ignore you. And when you make yourself invaluable, the world must reward you. This is not optimism, it is law, and if you ignore it, you suffer. Not because you are unlucky, but because you are misaligned. Think of every dollar you earn as a thank you note. It is the world's way of saying, you helped me. You made something easier, better, or more beautiful. If you want to earn more of these notes, help more people. Serve them more deeply. Surprise them with excellence. Show up with energy. Think about what they need before they ask. Become so good at solving their problems that your name becomes synonymous with the solution. That is how fortunes are made. Not by manipulation, not by gimmicks, but by mastering the art of meaningful service. But beware, this requires a shift in mindset. Many people approach work with resentment. They see it as a burden, a trade, a necessary evil, and because of that they never rise. But the wise man sees work as worship, as contribution, as his sacred exchange with the world. He shows up not to collect a wage, but to give his best. And because he gives his best, life gives its best in return. This attitude changes everything. It lifts you from mediocrity into mastery. It elevates your energy, sharpens your presence, and magnetizes the right people and opportunities toward you. Now you may ask, what if I'm already doing my best and the rewards haven't come? That's a fair question. And the answer is this: evaluate your service, not your suffering. Many people confuse effort with excellence. They work hard but not effectively. They stay busy but not valuable. They do what is easy or expected, not what is exceptional. And so they plateau. But the moment you raise your standard, when you look at your work and ask, how can I do this better? How can I over-deliver? How can I make this unforgettable? Then everything begins to shift. The market notices, people notice, and prosperity moves toward you, slowly at first, then suddenly. Here's an exercise. Write down your current professional role. Then write down 10 ways you could add more value right now without waiting for permission. Can you listen better? Can you follow up more consistently? Can you improve your skills? Can you anticipate needs before they arise? Can you teach others? Can you organize what is disordered? Every act of improvement increases your magnetic field. It strengthens the signal you send to the world. I am ready for more. And the world, like a mirror, begins to reflect that signal back. As we end this part, I want you to remember one thing. Wealth is not a destination. It is a reflection. It reflects your service, your alignment, your clarity. If you want to attract more prosperity, do not beg for it. Become worthy of it. Think like someone who solves problems. Act like someone who serves with joy. Move like someone who respects their time, their energy, and their craft. And the world, unable to resist your vibration, will open its arms. That is the real secret, not in chasing money, but in becoming magnetic to it through value. Declare your law today in the comments, I earn in direct proportion to the value I create. Let it become your guiding principle. Then share this with someone who is working hard but spinning in circles. They don't need to push harder, they need to align better. In the next part, we'll explore how belief systems, often inherited and unconscious, create invisible ceilings in our lives, and how to finally break them for good. Your beliefs are the ceiling of your life. They are invisible, but they are absolute. And unless you confront them, examine them, and reshape them, they will confine you. No matter how hard you work, how clear your goals are, or how strong your intentions may be, a man cannot rise beyond the image he holds of himself. And most people are imprisoned not by the world, but by their own mind. They inherited beliefs from parents, culture, religion, school, beliefs about money, power, worth, and possibility. And those beliefs became silent rules, unspoken laws that determine what is possible and what is not. But here's the truth. All beliefs are optional. And the moment you realize this, you hold the master key to transformation. Look at your life. What do you see? Your finances, your relationships, your opportunities, they all reflect what you believe about what you deserve. If you believe that money is scarce, that success is only for others, that wealth comes at the cost of peace, then those beliefs will silently sabotage every effort. They will create hesitation. They will invite guilt. They will distort perception until even when opportunities arise, you dismiss them as luck or fantasy. You must understand, you will never outperform your deepest belief. You can hustle, you can grind, you can even succeed for a while. But if your inner story says, I'm not worthy, eventually your outer world will fall back in line. But the good news is this. Beliefs can be rewritten. They are not stone, they are scripts. And you are the author, but rewriting them requires awareness. You must become the observer of your thoughts. You must catch yourself in moments of limitation and ask, where did this belief come from? Who gave it to me? And do I choose to keep it? Most won't do this. Most will defend their limitations. They will argue for their smallness. They will cling to inherited fears as if they were sacred. But the few, the builders, the creators, the masters, will question everything. And in doing so, they reclaim their power. Let's take money, for example. Many believe that money is the root of evil, that wealth is unspiritual, that riches must be inherited or come at a cost. These are not truths. These are beliefs. And if you hold them, you will unconsciously sabotage your financial rise. You will feel guilt when you succeed. You will delay action. You will undercharge, overwork, or hide. And then you will wonder why abundance does not arrive. But if you shift your belief, if you begin to see money as a symbol of service, as a reflection of value, as a tool for expansion, then suddenly the path clears. You feel aligned. You take action with joy. You receive without guilt. And your results accelerate. Now, the process of belief replacement is simple, but it demands consistency. First, identify the limiting belief. Money is hard to get. I'm not good with money. Success is for others. Then, interrupt it. Refuse to accept it as truth. Next, replace it. Choose a belief that empowers you. Money flows to me because I am valuable. I am a powerful creator. My thoughts create my world. Finally, repeat it daily, with emotion, with certainty, until it becomes natural. At first it may feel false. That's okay. You are not lying to yourself, you are retraining yourself. And every time you speak the new belief, you weaken the old one. A powerful belief to begin with is this: I rise as I release. Write it down. Let it guide you, because every breakthrough is preceded by a release. You cannot carry the beliefs of the old life into the new one. You must let go of scarcity, of doubt, of stories that no longer serve you. And in that letting go, you make room for new thoughts, new identity, new possibilities. Just as a snake sheds its skin to grow, so must you shed your old identity to rise. This is not emotional. This is structural. The mind must be emptied of error before it can be filled with truth. And make no mistake, your beliefs are not hidden from others. They radiate through your posture, your tone, your decisions. A man who believes in his worth moves differently. He speaks differently. He makes choices from clarity, not fear. And because of that, he attracts people, opportunities, and resources that mirror that belief. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. The world does not reward neediness, it rewards certainty. And certainty comes from belief. If you want the world to treat you differently, believe differently. Now you may ask, how long does it take to change a belief? And the answer is, as long as it takes you to stop arguing for the old one. Some shift instantly, others gradually. But all shift when you decide. Not when you feel ready. Not when the world gives you permission. But when you decide that the old belief is no longer welcome in the house of your mind. That is the moment of transformation. That is when new behaviors become effortless. When new results seem to arrive without struggle, because you are no longer acting against yourself. So I ask you now, what belief must you release? What lie have you been carrying? What ceiling has gone unquestioned? Write it down. Burn it if you must. Then write the new law. Declare it in the comments. I am free from limiting beliefs. I think in alignment with truth, abundance, and power. Let that be your anchor this week. Repeat it. Meditate on it. Speak it with conviction until it becomes the foundation of a new identity. And if this message has illuminated something in you, share it. Share it with someone still trapped in their inherited story. Help them break free. In the next part, we will explore the power of imagination, not as fantasy, but as the architect of reality, and how those who see clearly within shape the world without. Imagination is not a game, it is not child's play, it is the most powerful tool you possess, and it was given to you for a divine purpose, to create the life you desire before it becomes visible. Every building, every invention, every work of art, every empire began as a thought, imagined clearly by one person. The world you live in is not random, it is imagined into being by men and women who had the courage to believe in what they could not yet see. And if you do not take command of your imagination, it will be commanded by others. Most people use their imagination to replay worst-case scenarios. They imagine what could go wrong, who might judge them, how they might fail. And the mind, obedient to its instructions, goes to work manifesting those fears. But the wise, the rare, imagine what could go right. They see their goals already achieved, feel the results already experienced, and hold that image with such clarity that reality begins to bend around it. This is not mysticism, it is law. You become what you think about, yes, but more deeply, you become what you imagine yourself to be. The man who sees himself as poor, weak, or unlucky will unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that contradicts that image. The woman who sees herself as undeserving will hesitate when life offers her more. It is not because they are unworthy, it is because their imagination has not yet caught up to their desire. And until the inner picture changes, the outer picture cannot. So I ask you, what do you imagine when you are alone? What pictures do you carry in your mental wallet? Do you see yourself rising, leading, creating? Or do you replay old scenes, old wounds, old doubts? You must take your imagination back. You must reclaim it from the past. You must purify it from fear. And then you must deliberately use it, like a painter, like an architect, like a visionary, to build a life worth living. Begin with a single scene. Imagine your goal already complete. Feel the weight of the key in your hand. Hear the applause. Walk through the doors you've dreamed of. Feel the check in your palm. See the version of yourself who already lives this life. Confident, calm, generous. And don't just see it. Be it. For a few minutes each morning. Act as though it were already yours. And soon your mind will stop resisting. It will accept the image as reality. And the body, the habits, the speech, the energy, all will begin to follow. This is what the great thinkers and spiritual teachers have always known. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. All things are possible to him that believeth. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have received it, and it will be yours. These are not metaphors, they are instructions. The mind does not distinguish between vividly imagined experience and lived reality. The subconscious does not ask if it's true, it asks if it's repeated. And when you repeat an image with enough conviction, it becomes accepted. Once accepted, it becomes your identity. And once it becomes your identity, no force on earth can stop it from becoming your life. But there is a warning. Imagination without discipline becomes fantasy. It becomes a drug, an escape, a distraction. You must marry imagination with action. You must dream and do, see it and step into it. It is not enough to visualize success while staying idle. The vision is the seed. Yes, but it must be watered with consistency, with courage, with effort. And every action you take while holding the image in mind becomes 10 times more powerful. Because it is not just movement, it is alignment. It is action in harmony with vision. And this is what makes your work magnetic, your presence felt, your days efficient. Most people fail not because they lack imagination, but because they imagine the wrong things. They let fear write their mental script. They replay failures, rehearse disasters, shrink their dreams to fit the comfort of others. And in doing so, they slowly kill their own power. But you must be different. You must become the director of your inner cinema. You must only allow thoughts and images that serve your future, that affirm your worth, that stretch your vision. Anything else must be cast out, not with anger, but with authority, because your future depends on it. One of the most effective practices I can give you is this. Before sleep, close your eyes and imagine your ideal day, lived in perfect harmony with your dream. Imagine waking up in the home you desire, walking through rooms filled with peace. Imagine working on projects that light your soul, surrounded by people who respect and elevate you. Imagine wealth flowing freely, impact expanding, peace radiating. See it in detail, feel it as real, and drift to sleep with that image held steady. Do this for 30 days, and you will notice something extraordinary. Your mornings will feel different, your actions will sharpen, your confidence will rise, because your subconscious will begin to accept the new normal. There is no limit to what you can imagine, so there is no limit to what you can become. The only limit is your belief, and belief can be expanded through repetition, through exposure, through small wins that confirm the vision. So as you imagine big, also act boldly. Do one thing each day that aligns with the image. Make the call. Say no to distraction. Say yes to growth. Refuse to shrink. And as your outer world adjusts, your belief will strengthen. And as your belief strengthens, the vision will come faster. This is not chance. This is not coincidence. It is the quiet machinery of the mind, doing exactly what it was designed to do. So what do you imagine now? Who do you see when your eyes are closed? And what must you become to make that image inevitable? Begin today. Take one image, one scene, and replay it so often that your mind cannot distinguish it from memory. This is the art of inner wealth. This is the bridge between dream and result. And this is the work most ignore, but which changes everything. Declare your law in the comments. I see it, I feel it, I live it. My imagination creates my reality. Let others read it and be stirred. Let it echo in your own thoughts as you move through the day. Then share this with someone who has forgotten how to dream, who has allowed the world to steal their imagination. In the next part, we will explore the role of environment and association, how who and what surrounds you either feeds your vision or strangles it. No matter how powerful your vision, how clear your thoughts, or how consistent your habits, your environment will either magnify your progress or mute it. The truth is this: you do not rise alone. You rise with the energy, voices, and influences that surround you daily. Just as a seed needs good soil, sunlight, and protection from weeds to grow, so too does your mind need an environment that nourishes your potential and protects your focus. And yet most people pay more attention to the clothes they wear than to the conversations they allow, the spaces they inhabit, or the energies they absorb. But listen closely. Your results are a reflection of your surroundings. What you hear, what you see, who you speak to, what you tolerate, all of it forms the unseen scaffolding of your destiny. There is a reason why every successful person in every field speaks of guarding their environment with ruthless intent. Not because they are antisocial, not because they are arrogant, but because they understand this simple truth: association is influence, and influence shapes identity. You cannot consistently rise while surrounded by voices that doubt, delay, or diminish. You cannot build excellence in a room full of excuses, and you cannot protect your dominant thought if it is being diluted, challenged, or laughed at by people who do not share your standards. This does not mean you must cut everyone off. It means you must become intentional. Intentional about who you share your energy with, what you allow into your ears, and how you shape your mental climate. Let me put it plainly. If you are serious about rising, you must ask hard questions. Who in your life affirms your vision? Who stretches you? Who brings clarity? And on the other side, who drains you? Who brings drama? Who makes you doubt yourself or downplay your ambition just to keep the peace? These questions are not judgmental. They are diagnostic, and your answers will reveal the invisible tug-of-war occurring within your mind every day. Because if you are planting seeds of greatness in the morning, but walking through storms of mediocrity all afternoon, do not be surprised when the harvest is mixed. The mind cannot fully bloom where it is constantly being pruned by negativity. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is this. Treat your attention as your greatest currency, because it is. Whatever you give your attention to grows. Whatever you ignore weakens. So if your attention is being hijacked by gossip, fear-based news, social media comparisons, and meaningless distractions, then you are watering the weeds. But if your attention is being invested in books, mentors, aligned conversations, environments of excellence, and quiet moments of reflection, then you are nourishing your garden. Every choice compounds. Every influence either pulls you forward or pulls you under. You may be asking, but what if my current environment isn't supportive? What if my family, my coworkers, my community all operate from fear or small thinking? Then here is your answer. You build a new environment from the inside out. You start by becoming your own ecosystem of strength. You fill your mornings with clarity, your mind with truth, your space with beauty. You listen to voices of greatness, even if they come through a speaker. You engage with people who elevate you, even if they are found in books, podcasts, or online communities. You take responsibility for what you can control, and you minimize what you cannot. And over time, as your energy shifts, your outer world begins to rearrange itself around your new vibration. Do not underestimate this. The people you see every day matter. The room you sit in matters. The content you consume matters. The conversations you participate in matter. You are being shaped daily by what surrounds you. So take this seriously. If you want to live a rare life, you must build a rare environment, one that reinforces your belief, sharpens your vision, and protects your peace. This might mean more solitude. This might mean distance. This might mean changing routines, routes, or rhythms. But the cost is worth it, because the cost of staying in the wrong environment is far greater. It's the cost of potential left unrealized. Here is a practical step you can take today. Identify one environmental influence that weakens you. It could be a social media account, a toxic voice, a cluttered workspace, a habit of mindless scrolling. Remove it. Replace it with one influence that strengthens you. A clean corner of your home, a podcast that feeds your vision, a new morning playlist, a person you admire. One by one, you rebuild the atmosphere around you. And like a plant moved into sunlight, your mind responds with growth, vitality, and renewed energy. And let us not forget the power of proximity. Proximity to energy, proximity to ambition, proximity to truth. If you want to become something greater, spend time even digitally in the presence of those who live at that level. Watch how they speak, study how they think, listen to what they avoid. Immerse yourself in excellence until it becomes familiar, until it no longer intimidates you but activates you. Until you look in the mirror and realize, I belong in rooms of greatness because I've built greatness within. So today, declare it. I shape my environment, reflect my vision. I guard my attention. I rise with intention. Write it in the comments. Let it be your standard. Let others see the power of a person who refuses to let the world choose for them. And if this message has reminded you of what matters, share it with someone whose light is being dimmed by the wrong surroundings. In the final part, we will tie it all together, the thoughts, the habits, the beliefs, the imagination, the environment, and arrive at the greatest reward of all, peace of mind and mastery of self. There is a reward beyond money, beyond status, beyond the applause of others. That reward is peace of mind, the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are, where you are going, and what you stand for. It is not given, it is earned, and the only way to earn it is through self-mastery. When a man trains his mind, aligns his habits, sharpens his focus, protects his vision, and curates his environment, he becomes something rare in this world. Anchored. He does not react to every shift in circumstance. He does not fall when others panic. He does not seek validation because he lives in alignment. That alignment between belief and behavior is the foundation of peace. The average man is constantly unsettled, not because life is chaotic, but because he is. He wakes up without clarity, moves without intention, speaks without vision. He borrows his energy from the emotions of others and then wonders why he feels lost. But not you. You are building something different, something stable, something unshakable. And now you've come to understand the truth. The greatest power is not the ability to control others. It's the ability to control yourself, to lead your thoughts, to direct your actions, to quiet your mind. When you do that, you no longer chase success. You embody it. So what does peace of mind feel like? It feels like walking through chaos without losing your center. It feels like being able to say no, clearly, cleanly, because your values are strong. It feels like waking up without anxiety because you know what you're building and you trust yourself to build it. It feels like living in rhythm, not rush, living on purpose, not on autopilot. And this peace is not a reward you get once. It is a practice you cultivate daily. That practice begins each morning, the moment you wake up and speak to your mind with clarity and command. Let's recap what you've installed over these 8 parts. You've learned that you become what you think about, and so you've taken control of your dominant thoughts. You've learned that success begins with morning intention, and so you've established declarations to lead your mind. You've embraced discipline, not as punishment, but as a form of self-respect. You've adopted consistency as the quiet engine of excellence. You've built vision as your compass, shaped your environment like a sculptor, and now you stand on the edge of mastery. But mastery is not the end, it is the beginning of contribution. Because once your mind is trained, your greatest power is your ability to lead others by example. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs examples. Quiet strength, focused presence, calm power. That's what you've built. And now you carry it in your words, in your tone, in how you walk into rooms. You don't need to shout, because peace is louder than noise. You don't need to prove anything, because self-mastery speaks for itself. But there is one more thing I want you to remember. The work is never finished. The mind must be fed daily. The declarations must be repeated. The habits must be sharpened. Because this world is relentless in its distractions. And if you do not lead your thoughts, they will be led for you. So what's next? You repeat, you refine, you rise. Every day you recommit. Not because you're broken, but because you're becoming. The man you are now is not the man you will be in 1 year. And that's the point. You are not finished, you are forging. And the fire of that forge is your daily rhythm, your rituals, your focus, your laws. So as we close this 30-minute training, I give you one final law to live by. Master your mind, and you master your life. That's not a metaphor. It's the root of all transformation. Say it with me, write it, post it below. Master your mind, and you master your life. This is your new code, your new compass, your unshakable center. Now I want you to carry one commitment forward. Every morning before the world speaks, you speak first. You declare who you are. You visualize your future. You direct your focus. You affirm your discipline. You align with your vision. You reject the noise. You feed your mind with truth. And you do this every single day. This is how you create a life that others admire, but more importantly, a life you respect. And respect for yourself is the highest form of peace. If these words have helped you see something new, share this message. Let someone else feel what it's like to be reminded of who they really are. Let them feel their power again. Let them wake up tomorrow with a spark in their soul instead of fog in their mind. And if you've made it this far, if you've trained with this level of intensity, then drop a comment below that says, I lead my mind. I master my life. Say it boldly. Let others see the standard you've chosen. Let this community grow, not with hype, but with strength, with clarity, with leaders who rise in silence and move with purpose. And now you know the truth. It was never about motivation. It was about identity. It was about remembering what was always there. The potential, the focus, the clarity, the power, all of it, waiting behind the door of decision. And now you've opened it, so walk through it. No turning back. You have a life to build, a mind to sharpen, and a future that's waiting for the man who trains for it.